plane is on its way. I'm wearing the tiara and the crown. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. This is Wendy's tiara. Size of snow. As the plane approaches, and the event horizon of the radio wave that is beaming out to make connectivity with our nervous system and our physical systems as well through the Morgellons fibers that grow out of the off of the aluminum oxide that we're breathing, creating antennas. As that plane approaches with the event horizon, anything copper, I don't have one on that arm, but this thing, back of my neck, brass or copper, but the copper especially, it begins to move. It will tighten up. On my ankle, I had a thick piece of copper wire that made a little snake shape and went around my leg twice. And I could get it all molded nice and comfortably. There's no sharp edges on it. And when we start sitting over a bunch of planes, it would get a big bow in it, and it would twist around and it would dig into my leg, and then I'd have to rebend it, and it would just change again. Absolutely ridiculous. All hail. All hell. That's what I'm saying all the time. All hell. Pardon me for a moment. It's legal in Washington. It's legal. Now that it's legal, meet me at the Regal Beagle. We're gonna read Jonathan Livingston Seagull. No, I don't hear it. I think the 5G is just about installed everywhere, so I'm probably going to have all the sensations I've been having over the last few years that are associated with a plane coming, even when the plane's not coming. Although the plane is, it's worse. It's more intense with the plane. It's closer and higher powered. But it's still there even without the plane. And these videos where people say, oh, cure your Morgellons, I cured my Morgellons. Don't believe it. They didn't cure it. They may have alleviated a symptom of their Morgellons. You know, maybe they don't notice some of the other ones. Maybe they haven't progressed into the other ones yet. I'm going to do a video soon of the main things that I do now that I found worked. And with details. Basically, it's wear copper everywhere. I want a whole suit made of copper. I got a copper shirt with copper on the inside, some copper freaking long johns. And I already had copper insoles for my shoes and copper in my hat. If you notice, this hat was white when it started. The Morgellons is in your hair, and I washed it to get it to this lighter green. I mean, it greened it out, and you can see the copper looks kind of shiny now. That's it's shiny. It's also like a little dull looking as well, though, kind of pinkish colored. The Morgellons does not like the copper. Copper kills it. And the Morgellons also, since it's an antenna system, really, it's a Wi-Fi antenna for your body that connects to the cell towers and the 5G panels and the Wi-Fi's and all that. And your cell phones, and probably this phone too. I don't use this phone very often. It doesn't have any service, at least right now. I don't think that matters. Anyway, see how green that is? That's because the Morgellons comes out the back of my neck here and all over the top of my head. And if you have something copper, like the copper mesh up there, it kills it immediately. It did wonders for my feet. I was working on trying to get my toes and toenails and feet all decent again. Somehow, well, and it was just laborious and time consuming, and then I copper insoles when I saw this video on YouTube of a guy who puts some bacteria, fungus, and viruses on a piece of surgical steel and another and on a piece of copper, and then puts them in, he puts it in and shuts the light off or something, comes back in 5 minutes, and everything on the copper was dead, and everything on the surgical steel was still alive. And he's like, why don't we make surgical instruments out of copper? Because viruses and germs can't live on them, so you don't have to worry about spreading infection because the thing would be dead already. Does that make a lot of sense? But anyway, when I saw that video, I thought, aha. And everywhere I put copper, my big problem areas like on my wrists and stuff, it's still problems, but it's been kicking them in the ass. And although I'm experiencing new and more immediate and interesting phenomenon now associated with the Morgellons. These scratches down my arm, I just dragged a piece of aluminum mesh, like screen H2, along my arm, this way, and the Morgellons hairs cling to it instantly and would rip out as I pulled it along, and then it would bleed in little spots all over. Some of the scratching I did afterward, I was like, I scratched it a little bit, a little too hard, but it was quite interesting how it reaches out and grabs metal. If you want to have a real test to see if you have Morgellons, get a metal comb like you'd have for your dog, or not an ultra fine one because that wouldn't work anyway. But get a metal comb, or just take a fork. If you have hair, and try and comb your hair with the metal fork. You won't be able to move it an inch through your hair before it stops solid, and you'll have to rip it out if you pull any farther because the stuff wraps to the metal immediately. Get one of those dog combs like from PetSmart. Okay, I knew the motherfucker was coming. What is it, like midnight on a Sunday? And there's faggot ass Airplane right on cue. It's been real slow though. There he is. Here we are, across the street from Liberty Middle School, which used to be Camas High School. It's been really quiet. Normally, this ass clown in this plane flies over the neighborhood here every no more than 10 minutes goes by without him flying over at 400 feet, 300 feet. If he was on the ground that far away, I could throw a rock and hit him. Crash and burn, you fucking piece of shit. What kind of fucking sad sack of crap fucking gets paid to fly around and microwave people from an airplane? I mean, the reason it flies over repeatedly is because longer exposure means more effects of the microwave. And the reason it flies low and slow is longer effects and closer to the source, or closer to the target. It flies low because you're the target. That's why it flies only over residential neighborhoods. Oh yeah, and every time it's approaching at the event horizon bubble that I was talking about, my ears begin to ring, my skin crawls, my veins start to bulge out. I have difficulty with fine motor skills. And I was dying 4 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and I was starting to believe I could pull back out of it a year ago. And I wouldn't say that I have done it yet. I'm still trying. But copper. I can't say enough about the copper. Make sure you get good quality old copper. This is really flexible. It'll turn different colors when there's a whole lot of Morgellons issues with the skin and the hairs. And there's invisible hairs that come out, and you can't see them, but they're there. That's what my burning video is. You light a lighter, and whoosh, it goes up in flames, but it doesn't burn any hairs. And there's smoke. You can do it over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, how many times could I burn the same hair and have it smoke every time? You know, Doc, how many times? Right? If you know what I'm saying. Anyway, it's real. It's happening. I don't like it any more than you. And well, at this point, all we can do is die with dignity, and that's not going quietly into the night. I was fucking giving the one finger salute to the man in the machine. The man in the machine in his plane. Alright, I guess I'm gonna have another bong hit and go in and try and nurse my migraine headache that's trying to creep in. It shorts it out. The radio signal electrifies your body, and it bounces or pings the signal back. I don't know. We might even transmit it for all I know. The technology is pretty far advanced, but it's not completely omnipotent. If you're willing to suffer horribly and be tenacious as it is, I'm talking you gotta attack this shit from every way until you can't anymore, and as soon as you get rested, you attack again. You have to at all times, day or night, and you can't really keep a job that way unless you're self-employed, and I managed to do it for a while, but even that became impossible. But I can work again a little now that I've got the massive pounding, throbbing temple migraines out of the way. I just get shrill, loud ringing in my ears. Like I hear it because the plane's coming again. He did a U-turn. He forgot his wallet at the airport, so he's got to fly back and get it. And you've got to fly really low because it saves gas that way, not having to climb those extra feet up into the air, you see. That's why he flies low and slow over the house all day and all night, every day and every night for years on end. Because he just keeps forgetting his wallet at the airport. He's forgetful. Luckily, he can afford the gas. All right. Enough sarcasm. Good night, USA. Which we shouldn't really call this the USA anymore. I don't think it ever was. It's got to be the United Satanic Alliance or the Unbelievably Stupid Assholes. And I'm not part of either one of those organizations. I'll think up another acronym.